everybody, and welcome to another episode of Inclusion Matters podcast. I am your host, the crippled Messiah, Nathan Noss. My other two co-hosts will be here shortly. They're doing some stuff with Special Olympics. I'd like to introduce our guest tonight, Mr. Reggie Lincoln. How are you this evening?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. For those that don't know, I am the only man that matter, Reggie Lincoln, one half of the Riot, the tag team, the Riot. And hey, come to make big moves in 2024. I'll tell you that for sure.
Hey, can't fault that. So, who were some of your wrestling heroes growing up?
Whew, yeah, that's a good question. Well, growing up, we're gonna start off with Harlem Heat. Raised in Texas and everything. Even though the name is Harlem Heat, we knew who they were: Stevie Ray and Booker T. And to be honest, Harlem Heat is who made me fall in love with tag team wrestling. And to be honest, and it's a funny story, like what made me a wrestling fan was basketball, but I'll get to that story later. But yeah, being a young youth, seeing somebody who kind of resembles me, take over in wrestling like they did, that would be one of the Harlem Heat, Booker T, Steve Ray is one of my many heroes right there in wrestling. And see, five, like you asked for five, right?
Just your wrestling heroes. You can name as many as you want, as little as you want.
Okay, because I was about to say we'll be here all day if I did that. Well, we really would be. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with Harlem Heat. Like I said, being raised in Texas and knowing who they are and what they've done throughout the history of wrestling and just period. I pay my utmost respects to them, and so those would be my wrestling heroes starting out. Of course, then there's the guy who trained me. His name was Killer Tim Brooks. Fun fact about him: the only man who he retired when I was a baby, but I kind of knew who he was because I grew up locally around him. Fun fact about him is that he was the only man to defeat all of the Von Erichs. So, and rest in peace to Killer Brooks, of course. That's who brought me into this. That's it. And then, who else can I say is my wrestling hero?
Friday. Yep.
Man, that is a good question right there. Like, who else I don't know who else I can mention right now because there's so many options. Because, this is something I love so much. So
Reggie Lincoln.
Yeah, and those are some good ones. And I've actually heard of Mr. Brooks, from some other people. So I'm glad you brought him up.
And fun fact, Killer Brooks is one of the many people who trained Booker T. So I guess it came full circle. And unfortunately, I haven't had the pleasure to train with them.
Okay, all right.
At least not yet. But, I'd love to one day.
And I'm sure you'll get there.
Oh yeah. Because it ain't over for me. I've been doing this for 12 years. I know it ain't over for me just yet.
And I'd like to introduce you to my executive producer, the game changer, Mr. Anthony Wagner.
No. Get it right, crippled Messiah, you stupid little nightgown freak. It's the Heartbreaker, and don't you forget it.
Oh, wait, now you're going back? What? You got split personalities now? The other day, you were the game changer.
Shut up, Messiah.
You gonna ask a question, or you just gonna sit in the dark?
Who asked you Orange Cassidy loving freak? I mean, at least you dressed up. I mean, it's a nightgown, but I mean, at least you dressed up for the occasion.
At least I'm not so scared of my shadow. I gotta sit in the dark.
Oh yes,
I'm in
I
the
like
lane.
this.
I was in the lane.
So you gonna ask a question, or you gonna drive like Pee Wee Herman?
Well, seems how I was so rudely interrupted by the orange loving freak. I don't know. Who's, in your opinion, who's the best wrestler turned actor?
Who's the best wrestler turned actor? There's so many options. There's so many options, man. Best wrestler turned actor. There's, of course, that we know about Dwayne, John, and Batista. There's The Miz. There's David Otunga. For a lot of people that don't know, there's Terry Crews as well. For those who don't know. So who would be the best wrestler turned actor? I mean, I know the most successful is Dwayne, but I'm gonna have to go with Batista in this one. I have to go with Mr. Dave Batista.
I knew there was a reason I liked this guy.
Hey, likewise.
So you said basketball got you into wrestling. That's interesting because most people would have said football. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh well, it got me into wrestling as a fan as a kid.
Ah, gotcha.
No, being broke and willing to take a beating is what actually got me into doing wrestling. But as just as a fan in general, liking basketball is what it does. I truly became a fan. Like I watched it, and I didn't truly start like just religiously watching it until Dennis Rodman joined the NWO. And I was a big fan of Michael Jordan as a kid and everything. And the only reason I started watching it was because I was hoping Michael Jordan would make a surprise appearance and join the NWO.
Now that would have been cool.
Not understanding the fact that, oh no, the NBA finals are going on right now. He can't do that.
Yeah.
Basketball is way more important. Like I said, as a kid, I didn't understand. I'm like, where's Michael Jordan? When is he going to come around?
Yeah.
But
all right.
As far as what got me into it, well, I'll say this: being a terrible boxer was one of them. One of the things that got me into wrestling, like doing it, because I'm still willing to take a beating, but I didn't want to get knocked out.
Makes sense.
I didn't want to get knocked out anymore.
All right. Well, I don't know how much the Messiah has been yapping his jaw since I haven't been on here, and I apologize for that, for you having to listen to paint dry. But you know,
I forgive you.
he has this dream of being a wrestling promoter. So, can you give him some advice as a worker, what you'd like to work for, promoter wise?
Someone who's fair, which not all promoters are like that. That's like a 2 and 10 point bet. Which I mean, someone who's not very political, which once again, 2 and 10 chance of that. Someone who there's promoters in this world like that are different. Some wants to see just wrestling. Some wants to tell a story. I like the promoters that tell a story instead of just pure wrestling. Like, we got different fans for different occasions. I get it. The wrestling's good. The story is what keeps them into it. So the kind of promoter I want. Oh, and what do I want out of a promoter? Somebody who's willing to pay me. Yeah,
Well,
that's the most important part. That's willing to pay me what
you
I'm worth,
see,
not short me. And I'm worth a lot of money. Even though a lot of promoters don't feel that way, I'm worth a lot of money.
Oh, I have no doubt about that.
So that's what I want out of a promoter. How much you got, Messiah? How
Not
much
a
money
lot
you
right
got?
Not a lot right now. We just ran our first show, so we're kind of like, you know, building up for the next one. But that's great advice, and I really
Which,
appreciate it.
which brings me to my next question. I am getting paid for this,
For this, nah, we don't pay people for this. But
oh man.
hey, you better watch out, Messiah. He's bigger than you.
well, that's true.
And for only $9.99, I will give you his address for free.
But see, you would have to go to
Sounds like a good deal.
you'd have to go to the Heartbreaker's house first to figure out where I live. So
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. I have about $3 to spare.
so let's hit some of our top 5 questions. Top 5 male wrestlers of all time, in your opinion.
Let's start off with Triple H. Um, then Triple H is gonna be Triple H will always make my top five. Um, I gotta go with Big Match John, of course. And are we going up? And let's see. Of course, The Rock, um, Mr. Steve Austin, and who else can I say? Man, who would be that number five? And see, I base it off more than just wrestling capabilities. I base it off of what they've done as well. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go with Sean. The Texan, and we would not let that go by. I gotta go with Sean, Mr. HBK himself.
It's a good list.
I was just gonna say that. Great minds think alike.
Well, unlike I like his list, unlike yours. Number one, Orange Cassidy. Number two, Orange Cassidy. Number three, you guessed it, Orange Cassidy. Number four, you guessed it again, Orange Cassidy. And number five, yeah, you got it, Orange Cassidy.
Now
Oh
let's
man, you're
let
kind
me
of obsessed with Orange Cassidy, aren't you?
well let me understand this. He's been on for what, maybe 5 minutes, and who's mentioned Orange Cassidy about every 2 seconds while he's been on this podcast? Hasn't
Hey,
been me.
it's my punchline there, bud. Okay, and remember, this is my show, not yours.
I ain't seen no paperwork. Make it your
Uh,
show.
just okay. Well, then let's do top five females of all time.
All right, top five females.
Or tonight.
Of course, Trish for a lot of reasons I will not explain on or there and incriminate me.
Fine.
So yeah, Trish, of course. Uh, I gotta go with Miss Jackie. Like I said, the Texan in me will not let that go. Let's see. Just because I don't want to get beat up about it, I don't want to get beat up. I'm gonna go with Jazz because I don't want to get beat up. So I hope y'all understand. Oh, and she's one of the greatest of all time. Longest reigning NWA Women's Champion and everything. Let's see. Next woman would be. And who would the next woman be? And And this is just my list. Let's see, Mickey, Mickey James, and then there's Medusa.
Another good
Another
list.
good
So if
list.
Medusa, if you listen to this, don't fire me. I'll mention your name. Don't fire me, please. She's the new GM of the company of my company, Square Circle Pro. So yeah, please don't fire me, Medusa.
Yeah, I heard about that. Congratulations, by the way.
That is a
Oh yeah,
huge.
oh yeah, for sure.
So to catch you up, Heartbreaker, he loves tag team wrestling, so I'm gonna bring this one up. Top 5 tag teams of all time.
The Dudleys. Uh, there's no top tag team list without them. The Road Warriors. Um, Dudleys. I mean, like I said, and I don't even have to explain why. I mean, everybody should know why on that. The Dudleys, the Road Warriors, um, Harlem Heat. Let's see. Harlem Heat. Man, who else can I say? Because that's very debatable. And I'll be having when this goes off, I'll be having debates myself about this. Let's go with Rock and Roll Express, and then who will be that number 5? Oh man, because I love tag team wrestling so much, I watch them all.
But AJ didn't shut the slider door again.
Man, who would my number 5 tag team be? That's ridiculous. I can't think of one right now. Well, I can't come up with the 5th one. I would say the Outsiders. With all rest in peace to Scott Hall, of course. But I would say number 5 would be the Outsiders.
And another good list. You're nailing these top 5 questions.
Well, not gonna lie, I feel like I'm not nailing them because as soon as this goes off, I'm gonna be talking about it again. To
Nope.
myself. Like, oh, why did I say this team? Or why did I say this person?
Believe it or not, I do that with myself every time we do an interview. I kind of go back and be like, well, that was a good one, but you know, and then I make my own top 5. So I get that.
Is Orange
So
Cassidy on all of them? Because I like to
no,
meet that guy one day.
I would too actually. Because unlike the Heartbreaker, I think that man's very entertaining and can wrestle on, on a high level.
And according to Mr. Wagner over here, I hear you're a little obsessed with him. So I mean, I'm pretty sure you can tell me everything about him.
I wouldn't say I'm obsessed. I just think he's got a unique character.
Oh yeah, he got talent, sure.
So who's the biggest name you've wrestled so far in your career?
Once again, another tough question because I mean, I haven't wrestled many big names because I guess a lot of people haven't seen me as the guy that wrestled big names. But I would say at least one of them is Sam Adonis.
Very cool.
Yeah, Sam Adonis. Now, one I should have wrestled was Keith Lee, but because I trained with Keith Lee. We both trained under Tim Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
I was just one of the few who never got the opportunity to. Hey, the window's still open for that.
Yeah, Tony Khan or any promoters out there, take note of that one. That would be one hell of a match right there. So, well, the Heartbreaker is getting situated. So if you had a dream opponent from any generation, who would it be and why?
Well, because I'm more of a tag team wrestler now, and I love tag team wrestling from any generation, huh?
Yep, any generation, no questions asked.
Well, myself and my partner got comparisons to them. I would say the dream match would be the Riot against. I know it's gonna be crazy, definitely crazy for sure. The Riot versus the Gangsters.
I love that answer, and I'll explain why in a minute. I've actually interviewed both members of the Gangsters.
Man, I bet that was amazing. See, I shared the locker room with New Jack before. I mean, like when I first met him, it shocked me because he is way nicer than I expected.
Yeah.
He is much more nice than I expected him to be.
Before I did this podcast, I did an internet radio show with the original Pitbull, Gary Wolf. So that's how I got to interview both the Gangsters.
Oh man, I bet that was awesome.
Oh, it was. Although when we did New Jack, that was the only interview we had to put our parental advisory warning on before we put it up.
I can understand why. I can definitely understand why.
Oh yeah, but it was fun. I can guarantee you that.
Oh man, because you never know what you're gonna get with New Jack.
And that's exactly what happened too.
And may he rest. I mean, of course. But yeah, that's what I'd say. With my partner, I get the comparisons to like either the Gangsters or the Hart Dynasty.
I could see that.
Just because certain moves that we use, personality-wise, we get compared to the Gangsters, and with the certain moves that we use, we get compared to the Hart Dynasty, Brett and Jim.
Yeah. So, thinking of that, that's I mean,
the Hart Foundation. Sorry, not the Dynasty.
No, I got what you meant. I'm picturing like the aggression of the Gangsters with the moveset of the Hart Foundation. That's a nice combo. I like that.
Oh yeah, and I mean it's really more my partner than me. Like, I mean he's still new. He's been in it for 2 years, but that Stonewall is amazing. I'm gonna tell you that now. Now I'm not just saying that because he's my tag partner. Like he did the work. He did the work. He was trained by Dustin.
Okay, I knew you and I and the Heartbreaker got along for a reason. We actually interviewed him earlier in this podcast. So, I mean, earlier in the year. So, yeah.
Oh, man. Strong personality, man.
Very much so. But
I love that about him. I love that about him,
man. And in all good ways, you were brought up quite a bit in that podcast. He talked about his tag team partner all the time. So.
Oh man, I feel honored. I'm honored, but I'm not surprised at the same time.
Yeah. So top 5 managers of all time.
Of course, Paulie. Trish Stratus, of course, for reasons I will not say because he'll incriminate me. Um, let's see, Jimmy Hart. I'm gonna have to go with Big Stoke. And because I love what he does. Stoke the Hathaway.
Yep.
I love that guy. Because what he says is so natural, yet he's so entertaining at the same time. And then I gotta go with him. I gotta go with Teddy Long.
Love that list.
I know. People are gonna say, "What about Fournette? What about certain others?" But I mean, like I said, it's like you asked me my top five.
Absolutely.
I hope Fournette don't tear me a new one because I said that.
Well, you can't promise that with Jim Cornette, so.
Mm-mm.
All right, Heartbreaker, what do you got?
Well, what I've got now since I'm in the light, Reggie is a big, big man. He's, and he's from Texas, so I mean, I can't go wrong there. Two of my favorite wrestlers of all time are from the state of Texas. So, he and I think, could get along. Unlike the Messiah, who can't even pick a winning football team or baseball team.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, but, it should be about Reggie, and I apologize. But Messiah, great job as always, and you sound like the paint drying. You're probably going to end up putting me to sleep before the podcast is over. Unlike Mr. Lincoln here, who is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm enjoying so very much. So, if you could build a WrestleMania card, 6 matches of any generation, who would be on your card?
Oh God, you came with the hardest question. Oh man, the hardest hitting question. I gotta see HBK and Flair again. That would be one. HBK and Flair. Any generation, man. Let's see. Reigns and The Rock. Oh, and for those who don't know, I am not a skilled booker. That's why I just wrestle and I don't book. Let's see. Harlem Heat versus the Dudleys. Let's see. Possibly a 4-way with Mysterio, Guerrero, Angle, and that one guy whose name we're not allowed to say anymore due to a certain incident. Y'all might catch my drift on that one.
We got you.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name, but, his initials are CB.
Well, you can say him on here, and we have no problem with it.
All right. Well, Benoit, of course, Let's see. How many matches that I did right there? That's 3?
That's 3.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Trish versus Jacqueline. And that was really a hard-hitting question right there, man. Because there's so much talent in this sport and in this industry. Let's see. I would say I would say Lesnar versus Austin, since we never really got that. Yeah, I would say Lesnar versus Austin. And then for the sixth match, and see, now you just made me think about my top 5 list all over again on certain things. You just made me rethink about that now. Because how the hell did I forget the New Day? But let's see. I would say the New Day. That's what we would need, a New Day versus Street Profits match over again.
Ooh, like that one.
And I'm talking about these Street Profits now, not the one from, the Street Profits that got their edge put to them now with Bobby. Not the Street Profits that wrestle in Survivor Series.
Right. That's a great card. Sign me up for that one.
And like I said, now you made me rethink about my top 5 list, and I'm just thinking, how do I get this and these guys, whatever.
Oh, trust me, that'll happen for a while after you get off the podcast. It always happens to everybody we have on. So
yeah, it definitely will.
So the Heartbreaker asked you what advice you would give to a promoter, which again was great advice. What advice would you give to an aspiring wrestler that was trying to get into the business?
Always wear protection.
Smart man.
Always wear protection. And no, I'm not just talking about with the women. Be insured. Have finances on you just in case you get screwed over. Have certain protection just in case you're on the road and some kind of dramatic thing happen. Have insurance, have roadside service. Like I said, always wear protection. Let's see. What else? Because pretty much, with the advice I'll give, I'll say, pretty much wrestling's like sex, pretty much. Because the same advice I'll give for wrestling, I'll give for sex. Protect you and your partner. Let's see. Always communicate. Stay in communication. If you don't trust your partner, then don't do it. And be safe and have fun.
I love that answer. I've heard wrestling called a lot of things. A dance, stuff like that, but
it's sex. That's what it is. Especially when you're addicted to it.
I like it. All right, Heartbreaker, what do you got?
I can't compete with that last question or answer. So, I mean, wow. Let's see here. Seems how I hit him with a hard-hitting question last time, and we've done top 5s. Trying to think. Oh, what is your pre-match and your post-match routine?
Well, pre-match, pretty much I try to get a good nap in before the show. And I really only drink water. I don't eat anything. Of course, use the bathroom before I go out there, because we don't need no accidents in there. I'm already getting punched in the face. I don't need to add using the bathroom or puking out there. Post match. Oh man. And that depends on how far of a drive I got. But post match, you're gonna see me with some kind of candy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll break my diet post match. I do that for sure. Because I'm on a nutritional plan right now, trying to eat better. But after the match, I cheat. I cheat, that's for sure. And I'm almost ashamed of it. But see, almost means not.
Amen to that. And there's nothing to be oh, there we go.
Whoa.
That's our nightly buffer.
Yep. So since you kind of set up this question, what's your favorite snack or cookie?
Other than my woman, let's see. Sour Patch Kids.
Ooh, yes.
Very, very awesome.
Yeah, Sour Patch Kids. That's what I got to go with right there, man.
Nice.
You thank my kid for that one.
Well, as the Messiah was saying before he put me to sleep, you know, he was very successful and ran his first show. So, you know, I've got to give him much love for that. And no, Messiah, before you even think about it, no, we're not inviting Orange Cassidy to the next show.
Ah, darn.
So that is still a hard no. Until he can learn to wrestle without his hands in his pockets and quit playing pocket pool, he's not allowed in our promotion.
How does somebody do that? I don't know.
Yeah. However, in the next upcoming weeks and months, we will be announcing our second show. I can divulge a little bit more information. It will be in the month of February. That's right. So Inclusion Pro Wrestling will be back February 2024. Just who are we bringing? I can't tell you that yet. But we've got one hell of a main event.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm itching to know the information now. I guess I gotta wait.
Let's just say we have a former MLW star versus a Pacific Northwest legend who has just actually reappeared from a 34-year hiatus.
Oh, that sounds like money to me.
It's definitely going to be money.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like. Yeah, that sounds like fire right there.
So we're coming out swinging. We're coming out swinging for Otani money here. Let's just put it that way.
Nice baseball reference.
Hey, you know, we're in the winter meetings. You know, Otani still hasn't signed, which I don't know why, but you know.
Yeah, just come to the Rangers and get it over with, man. I'm just saying.
Unfortunately, I don't think the Rangers are on his list.
Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know.
You know,
that would be nice.
Although, you know, since we are on baseball and we are on the Rangers, you know, again, congratulations to the Texas Rangers for winning their World Series.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Will Smith, congratulations for not winning not one, not two, but 3 World Series in a row.
I know. How does somebody do that? I don't know. That's got to be the luckiest guy in the league.
But Mr. Will Smith, I loved your first World Series win because you were with my Atlanta Braves.
I was rooting for Atlanta in that one.
So, And of course, we can't do this podcast without our 2 podcast sponsors. Of course, it's Bruce Nichols Painting, where Nathan actually watches the paint dry as he's painting. Yes, he does.
Wow. It's like a dog with a bone. Just keeps going back to the same thing.
And Nathan wouldn't have this podcast if it wasn't for this next person, the CARE program.
Yep.
Because without the CARE program, this podcast, Nathan's promotion, and Nathan's dream would not have came true. So thank you to our sponsors, and Nate and Messiah. I've dug on you enough. Next question.
So what's the craziest match you've ever been involved in?
My hair versus hair match with Daniel King. Because at the beginning of my wrestling career, before I started wearing glasses and everything, because my eyes suck, I had this gigantic afro. I mean, if there was a way I could pull up pictures, I would. But I had a very gigantic afro. And, like, if you didn't see the afro, you didn't really see me. That was a hair versus hair match, and that I ended up losing, obviously, because we're here now. Versus Daniel King. That was at Square Circle Pro, of course. That is my home promotion now since my original trainer passed away. Yeah, that got to be the craziest match I was involved in, because I don't have many gimmick matches, and I'm definitely not a death match guy. Like, much respect to those guys. But yeah, so that's what I gotta say. That's the craziest match I was involved in.
So, Square Circle Pro, that's down in Texas, right?
Lubbock, Texas.
Okay, that is the one I'm thinking of then. So he's seen some people that we've interviewed then, hasn't he? There, Mr. Messiah.
Yes.
He's seen Miss SOS and Miss Brittany Brooks and Miss Gypsy Mac and Gino Rivera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in fact,
Gino's my God.
Oh yeah.
Some of them I believe are champions or were champions in Squared Circle.
Oh yeah, Gypsy Mac, former women's champion, the inaugural women's champion at that, Texas ladies champion.
Yep.
And Gino, of course, former IPPV champion. SOS, I'm proud of how fast she's recovered.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm so proud of her. I look forward to seeing her again.
And speaking of injuries, hey guys, let's give Gypsy Mac some love. She had a tragic accident, broke her leg.
Oh,
She's going to be out for the next 8 months or so.
Yeah, sending all positive vibes to Gypsy Mac. Hopefully, hopefully the recovery is faster than it's supposed to be.
So go to Gypsy Mac's page on Facebook. There's a GoFundMe page. Please support Miss Gypsy Mac.
Yes, definitely.
Oh yeah, she'll get my donation. She'll get my donation soon. She was my. I would say that me and her were tag team partners at the merch table. Because I used to sell like Reggie Lincoln towels. Like, there's somewhere back here. I used to sell towels. And the funny part is our merchandise would be right next to each other. And when these sweaty guys would buy one of her photos, they'll come to my merchandise next and buy a towel from me. So whatever they do after they buy, whatever they do with all of it is their business. But it seems like a weird combination. But hey, Gypsy Mac and I made money around that time.
So, all right, Messiah.
So I asked what the craziest match you had. What's the craziest crowd you've ever wrestled in front of?
I did a battle royal for VIP Wrestling. And that's in Dallas. You know, a whole bunch of big names. And you know what? Like, it was like Shelton Benjamin was involved and a whole lot of other ones, other big names. But I would say this. That crowd was loud. That crowd was rowdy. That crowd was great. But it wasn't compared to a crowd in this little town it was a small town called Whitney, Texas, where I got on the mic, cut my promo, pissed a few fans off so much that this old woman was trying to stab me. And this is a true story. So that crowd went crazy. So I would say that I haven't been back to Whitney, Texas ever since. It was pretty much if you watched New Jack's Dark Side of the Ring, why he had to get escorted out of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. It was the same thing with me at this little promotion. Pretty much. It was called LWR. It was in Whitney, Texas. It doesn't run anymore, of course. But yeah, that crowd was very rowdy, especially after I won. And this lady tried to stab me. I guess I said something to one of her relatives that she didn't like.
Well, at least you know you made an impact. I mean, you got the Freddie Blassie and the Roddy Piper treatment in that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like they seen it with a knife. I'm like, I just stood there because I was in shock. I was like, while she's coming at me, I'm like, I'm just in shock. I didn't run or nothing. I'm like, oh my god, is she really about to come at me with this knife? Like, she's joking, right? Like, no, like, then someone messaged me saying, no, she really was trying to.
Wow.
So that's the craziest crowd. Yeah. I'll never forget Whitney, Texas for that.
I could see why.
Yeah, and here I thought he was going to say the craziest match he was involved in or seen was that brawl that went through the garage door at the one there in Lubbock that there were two people involved in. Or was that somewhere else in Texas, Nate?
That was the PWO.
Oh, that was the PW. Okay.
Okay. I would say, I don't know about, usually our garage doors are open. So nobody would go through them. Even though one show I wasn't there, the fire marshal got called.
Whoops.
Did the women get a little smoking hot?
I don't know. I don't know. But I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. The fire marshal got called and the show got shut down.
Uh-oh.
Wow. All right, Heartbreaker, hit him with one.
Let's hit me, baby.
Hit him with one. Yeah, I'm the Heartbreaker. I'm supposed to be the lover, remember? You're the crippled Messiah. You know, you're the crippled Messiah. You're supposed to be the one hitting him hard because, you know, you've got an excuse, those little dinosaur hands of yours.
I do not have dinosaur hands. That's the guy that booked the show and who did a great job, by the way, at the first inclusion show.
You know, well, okay, you've got those hands that can't grip anything. How about that?
I'll give you that one.
Well, I won't go there because it's a family show, but anyways. I know he did his top 5 male, and I know he did his favorites and everything like that, but I would be remiss if we didn't ask him this. and it's a little bit of a biased question for him, but the Messiah wanted me to ask you. He texted me and told me he's afraid to ask you this question. So
Go ahead, throw me under the bus.
So I will ask for the Messiah. He wants to know your top 5 Texas wrestlers of all time.
Top 5 Texas wrestlers. So I can't just say Reggie Lincoln for all 5, can I?
You could.
Well, he says Orange Cassidy for all 5 of his favorite males. So I mean, I don't know why.
As far as Texas goes, I mean, I know I'm nothing compared to a lot of these legends. I mean, of course, like you gotta have Sean, you gotta have Steve on there. You gotta have Book. So what other Texas wrestlers would there be? Of course, Terry. Terry Funk. Then much as I would like to include Michael Cole on that list, I can't. I mean, he is undefeated at WrestleMania. But I gotta go with the other guy who went undefeated at WrestleMania, and that's the Undertaker.
Hey, there we go. Beautiful list.
It is. And you think I go nuts about Orange Cassidy? If the Heartbreaker ever got to meet the Undertaker, he'd probably melt where he's sitting.
Oh man, so many people from my hometown just like they know once they found out I wrestled, that's the first question they ask. Do you know the Undertaker? Still never met the guy.
He is one of my bucket list of wrestlers to meet. I mean, he's one of them. I will not lie, but we're gonna have to bring Reggie Lincoln to our promotion because Reggie Lincoln's another wrestler that I'm just dying to meet. So,
yes. Man. I feel honored for that, Heartbreaker.
Which leads me to my next question: have you ever wrestled in Washington State?
Have I ever wrestled where?
In Washington State.
I haven't wrestled anywhere on the West Coast yet. And that's that's something I really want to do next year.
We might have to make that a reality.
Oh yeah, like anywhere west of New Mexico, I have not wrestled in.
We'll have to get your booking information later, and we'll talk.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I would love to come wrestle for you guys.
That would be amazing.
In Washington,
yeah.
I'd like that.
That'd be great around here. You bring the riot to Longview. People definitely come just to be like, wait, there's gonna be a riot at a church?
Oh.
So go ahead and hit him with one more question, Nathan, and then I will fill in the suspense for Mr. Lincoln, who our main event is in February.
I was waiting for you to do that. So where can we find you on social media, and when's your next match?
I'm on Instagram at the Reggie Lincoln, Twitter Reggie Lincoln 91.
I don't know.
And I'm on TikTok, life _with_ Reggie L, which I talk on TikTok. I talk about a lot of other things but wrestling. Well, wrestling, I talk little wrestling, but I'm still on TikTok with that. And then of course on Facebook, Reggie Lincoln. Let's see. Go to my Pro Wrestling Tee store, ProWrestlingTees.com/Reggie Lincoln. That's where you can find shirts like this and any other shirts. Other than that, talk to me anytime.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news from Inclusion Pro Wrestling. This is the news that everybody wanted to hear. That's right. Our first show was very successful. We're back. February the 24th, 2024. That's right. 2/24/24. And our main event of the evening is the Northwest Legend, the Grappler 4. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There is a fourth grappler now. And his opponent is none other than MLW former tag team champion, former member of the Samoan SWAT machine or team, Mr. Juicy Fanat.
Juice.
That is
Juice.
that
Yes.
is Inclusion Pro Wrestling's main event of the evening.
Yes, very excited
Oh,
for that.
yes. Oh man, y'all got juice there? Okay. Y'all did hit me with a shocker.
So
For the ring crew that's gonna work that show though with Grappler 4 and Juicy in that ring, we're gonna have to reinforce that ring for that show.
Oh yeah, I applaud that. I applaud that match already. That's gonna be something amazing.
and that's right, ladies and gentlemen, our second show out, and we've got our biggest main event of the company's history.
Yes.
Grappler 4 versus Juicy Fanu.
Oh man, I look forward to seeing that.
And I'll
Tickets
put
will be going on sale after the first of the year.
and I'll put it to you like this before we go. In 1980, Mount St. Helens blew and rocked the Pacific Northwest down here. On February 24th, 2024, there's going to be another eruption at Inclusion Pro Wrestling.
Hey, I like what you did there.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, if y'all are anybody that's out there, get your tickets, man. That's a big match. That is a huge match.
And
Literally and figuratively.
Yep. And as we heard on here earlier, get your tickets coming soon to Inclusion Pro Wrestling sometime in 2024 will be Mr. Reggie Lincoln.
Yes, and Mr. Stonewall. Sorry, my brain just shut off. What's his last? Remsen. Thank you. I kept wanting to say Ramsey, and I was like, no, that's not right. So,
did we have someone else joining in?
Yep, we got Pat joining in, but
did he come in?
There he is. So,
all right. So before we go, I would be remiss. Mr. Pat, seems how you missed almost the entire interview. One of his favorite tag teams is the Rock and Roll Express. So we would be remiss if you didn't ask Mr. Lincoln one question.
Yep.
Did you ask him the most underrated wrestler yet?
Nope.
We
left that for you.
Okay. The most underrated wrestler in a tag team.
The most underrated. Wow, that is an amazing question right there. The most underrated individual in the tag team?
Yes.
Wow. I never thought about that question.
Look at Pat coming in at the last minute and hitting him with the hard one.
Wow. That is an amazing question. Oh, wow. The most underrated. I would say the most underrated individual in a tag team would be Stevie Ray.
Ooh, I like that answer.
That's just my opinion. Stevie Ray. Because a lot of these different tag team guys, single guys, they go off to have a very successful singles career on top of being a successful tag team. While Stevie Ray has the talent and capability to have a singles career himself, we just didn't. Unfortunately we just didn't get that. But he did have the talent and capability to.
Absolutely.
All right.
And mine was Bobby Eaton.
That's not a bad answer either.
All righty. Well, again, we want to thank you, Reggie, for joining us. Join us tomorrow when we have Chumko Bum, and Friday when we have Inclusion Pro Wrestling's own Mitchell joining us. And no, we're not showing favoritism and bias. We do interview our own wrestlers too. So, but until then, for the Messiah, for the Principal, for Reggie, this is the Heartbreaker. Hey, and the three of us, we're all leaving the scene. Peace out. Okay.